Ben & Jerry's churns out nearly 1 million pints of ice cream every single day, enough to fill over 15 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Daily served in over 35 countries, these iconic flavors are packed with giant chunks and swirls. Ever wonder how this creamy magic is made? Let's dive into the scoop behind the scenes. Ben Cohen and Jerry Greenfield grew up in Merrick, New York, a small town on Long Island's South Shore. The two met in junior high gym class in 1963, where, according to company law, they were the slowest and fattest kids on the track. Naturally, they bonded while lagging behind the rest of their classmates, forging a friendship that would eventually lead to something much sweeter than their shared struggles in gym class. After high school, they pursued separate paths. Jerry went to Oberlin College on a pre-med track, but after being rejected by all the medical schools he applied to, he found himself back at square one. Ben briefly attended Colgate University but dropped out during his sophomore year to become a potter. When his pottery business didn't succeed, Ben took on various odd jobs to make ends meet. By 1977, the two friends reunited and decided to start a business together. Initially, they wanted to open a bagel shop in Burlington, Vermont, but bagel-making equipment was beyond their budget. So they pivoted and took a $5 ice cream making course at Penn State University. With their newfound skills, they scraped together $122,000, including a $4,000 bank loan, and transformed a rundown gas station into their first ice cream shop. In May 1978, Ben & Jerry's opened its doors. Since Ben has anosmia, a condition that limits his sense of taste and smell, Jerry took charge of designing their flavors to ensure Ben could still enjoy their ice cream. Jerry loaded the flavors with large chunks and swirls, creating the iconic stuffed style Ben & Jerry's is known for. Their first year was a success, and by 1979 they had become an exclusive ice cream shop and launched the first ever free cone day to thank the community. Ben & Jerry's quickly grew, and within a few years it became a beloved name in the ice cream world. Here's how every pint of Ben & Jerry's ice cream gets its start. It all begins with top-notch ingredients from trusted suppliers around the globe. But the star of the show is fresh milk from local Vermont farms. Thanks to the St. Albans Cooperative, the milk doesn't have to travel far. It takes a quick trip down the road to the factory, where it's stored in massive 6,000-gallon silos. Yep, we're talking big. Once it's inside the factory, the milk teams up with cream and sugar in a giant tank, where they're mixed together to create the base for every delicious flavor. But hey, it's not just about the dairy. Ben & Jerry's partners with over 250 farms worldwide to source the very best ingredients. For instance, their vanilla beans come straight from small farmers in Madagascar, and the cocoa for their rich chocolatey flavors comes from West Africa. And don't worry, the company makes sure all these farmers are paid fairly for their hard work. Even the brownies in fan favorites like chocolate fudge brownie are special. They're baked by Grayston Bakery in New York, a place that helps folks who've struggled to find work get back on their feet. So every scoop you take isn't just packed with flavor, it's packed with purpose. The process begins with fresh milk and cream from local Vermont farms, where Ben & Jerry's has long-standing partnerships through their Caring Dairy program. This program ensures cows are treated humanely and sustainable farming practices are used. The quality of the milk is essential to making great ice cream, so the milk is quickly transported to the factory after it's collected. When the milk arrives at the factory, it goes through a series of quality checks, including tests for fat content and temperature. After passing inspection, it's pumped into huge 6,000-gallon silos, which are massive stainless steel tanks designed to keep the milk cold and fresh. These silos maintain a steady low temperature to prevent spoiling and ensure that the milk is always ready for the next stage of production. After the milk is stored in the silos, it's time to move into the blend tank, where the real magic of ice cream creation begins. The milk is combined with fresh cream, sugar, and other basic ingredients like egg yolks for specific flavors. These ingredients are carefully measured and added to create a rich, smooth base that serves as the foundation for all Ben & Jerry's ice cream. The blend tank is a large stainless steel vessel equipped with powerful mixing arms that churn the ingredients together, ensuring a smooth, even mixture. Ben & Jerry's uses two primary ice cream bases. The first is the sweet cream base, which is used for most of their iconic flavors like vanilla, fish food, and half-baked. The second is a chocolate base, which is used for chocolate-based flavors like chocolate therapy. If it's a chocolate flavor, this is where cocoa powder is added, creating a deep, rich chocolate taste. The churning process in the blend tank is key to creating the creamy, silky texture that fans love. By constantly mixing the ingredients, the tank ensures that every drop of the base is consistent in flavor and texture, setting the stage for the next steps in the ice cream making process. Once the ice cream base is mixed in the blend tank, it's time for a crucial step: pasteurization. The mixture is piped into the pasteurizer, a machine designed to quickly heat the mix to a high temperature to kill any harmful bacteria. This process ensures the ice cream is safe to eat while maintaining its high-quality ingredients. The pasteurizer uses hot steel plates to heat the mix swiftly without cooking it, a technique that protects the flavor and texture of the ice cream base. During this step, the mixture reaches temperatures of around 180 degrees Fahrenheit for just a short amount of time before it's rapidly cooled down. This flash heating process is what makes the pasteurizer so effective, allowing the mixture to be pasteurized without altering its taste or creamy consistency. After heating, the base is immediately chilled back to a safe, cold temperature and transferred to a holding tank. In the holding tank, the base rests for 4 to 8 hours. This resting time isn't just for safety, it's also when the ingredients really come together. The flavors meld, deepen and balance, creating the rich, smooth base that will later be infused with flavors, chunks and swirls to make each pint of Ben & Jerry's. After the ice cream base has rested and the ingredients have fully blended, it's time to add the flavors that make Ben & Jerry's ice cream unique. The base is pumped into one of the factory's 20 flavor vats where the magic of flavor infusion happens. These vats are large, high-tech tanks designed to evenly incorporate a wide variety of ingredients like vanilla extract, mint, fruit purees, or coffee, depending on the recipe. Each flavor vat is equipped with powerful mixing mechanisms that ensure the flavorings are evenly distributed throughout the ice cream base. This step is crucial for maintaining the consistency and quality of each batch. So whether it's a subtle vanilla flavor or a bold mint, every pint has the perfect balance of taste. The variety of flavor vats allows Ben & Jerry's to create multiple batches of different flavors simultaneously. Hundreds of flavor combinations are experimented with each year, but only a select few make it to your freezer. The flavor vats also allow for precise control over the ingredients. Whether it's a fruity flavor or a rich caramel swirl, everything is blended to perfection at this stage, laying the groundwork for the chunks and swirls that will come later. Here's where the ice cream making process starts to get really cool, literally. Once the flavored base is ready, it's pumped into the freezing barrel, the machine responsible for transforming the liquid mixture into ice cream. This is a critical step because it's where the base starts to solidify into that smooth, creamy texture we all know and love. The freezing barrel works by rapidly lowering the temperature of the mix as it churns inside. The liquid base is cooled down to. They also check for air bubbles, which can affect the texture and quality of the ice cream. Once the pints are filled, sealed and quality checked, they still aren't quite ready for your freezer. The ice cream needs to be brought to its perfect scoopable consistency, and that requires one last critical step: the spiral hardener. This machine is a massive corkscrew-shaped conveyor belt housed inside an industrial freezer that's chilled to an icy -60 degrees Fahrenheit. The pints are carefully placed on the spiral hardener conveyor belt, where they slowly make their way through the freezer. The corkscrew design allows the pints to take their time, about 3 hours in this ultra-cold environment, ensuring that the ice cream hardens evenly. As they spiral upward, the ice cream gradually cools down to its ideal storage temperature of 10 degrees Fahrenheit. This process locks in the creamy texture and ensures that the chunks and mix-ins maintain their integrity. Too fast of a freeze might damage the texture, but the spiral hardener allows for a slow, steady cooling that preserves the ice cream's rich, smooth quality. By the time the pints emerge from the hardener, they've reached the perfect temperature and consistency, ready for packaging and shipping to grocery stores, where they'll eventually make their way to your or freezer. After the ice cream has reached its perfect frozen state in the spiral hardener, it's time for the final step, packaging and shipping. The freshly frozen pints are carefully grouped together with 8 pints making up a standard package. These groups are then shrink-wrapped to ensure they stay secure during transit. The wrapping process is automated, quick, and ensures that each package is tightly sealed to protect the ice cream during its journey to stores. Once shrink-wrapped, the pints are stacked onto large pallets. These pallets are organized and loaded with precision, ensuring they can be easily transported while maintaining the cold temperature required to keep the ice cream frozen. The factory's shipping team works efficiently to ensure that thousands of pints are ready for distribution each day. From there, the pallets are loaded into refrigerated trucks designed to keep the pints at the necessary freezing temperatures during transit. These trucks then deliver the ice cream to distribution centers and freezers around the world. Whether the pints are headed to your local grocery store, an ice cream shop, or even another country, Ben & Jerry's packaging and shipping process ensures that the ice cream remains just as fresh, creamy, and delicious as it was when it left the factory. And that's the scoop on how Ben & Jerry's went from a small shop in Vermont to a global ice cream icon, all while making a positive impact around the world. So next time you're enjoying your favorite flavor, you'll know there's more to it than just great taste. Rainbow cake sprinkles. The average American consumes about 22 pounds of candy, including sprinkles on their favorite desserts. With sprinkles being so popular across the US, have you ever wondered what goes into making these tiny, colorful treats? Rainbow cake sprinkles, those colorful and sweet decorations that brighten up everything from cakes to donuts, might seem simple, but they are a careful mix of food making and creativity. Sprinkles, called hundreds and thousands in the UK and jimmies in some parts of the US, have different names in various places. These small, bright pieces can quickly change the look and feel of a dessert, making it festive and fun. But how are these tiny treats made in factories? While they are easy to use, the way they are made involves science, accuracy, and a lot of care. The making of rainbow cake sprinkles happens in several steps, each made to ensure the final product is colorful, even in size, and crunchy. Here's a simple look at how factories turn basic ingredients into the sprinkles we all know and love. The first step in making rainbow sprinkles is preparing the base mix. The main ingredients are sugar, shortening, a type of fat, water, and starch. These are mixed together to form a thick paste-like dough. The choice of ingredients is important for how the sprinkles will feel and taste. For example, sugar gives the sprinkles their sweetness and structure, while shortening helps make the dough smooth and easier to work with. Some sprinkles use a special type of cornstarch to help them last longer while still keeping that familiar crunch. Once the basic dough is ready, food coloring is added. Since rainbow sprinkles need many colors, usually red, yellow, green, blue, purple, and sometimes orange, the dough is split into different parts, each getting its own color. High-quality food coloring is important to make sure the colors stay bright and don't fade during the next steps. Factories might also add flavors at this point, though many sprinkles are just sweet without any specific flavor. In the past, natural colors like beet juice and turmeric were used to color sprinkles. Today, most factories use approved artificial colors for better consistency and lower cost. The colored dough is then put into extrusion machines. The extrusion is an important step where the dough is pushed through small nozzles, shaping it into long, thin strands that look like spaghetti. The size of the nozzle openings controls how thick the sprinkles will be. For traditional jimmies, the nozzles are narrow, while for other brands, different machines and molds are used. Extrusion machines work very fast, handling large amounts of dough at once. This process makes sure that each sprinkle is the same size and shape. The dough strands are carefully placed on a moving belt where they go to the next step in production. The process of making sprinkles is similar to making pasta, where dough is pushed through molds to create different shapes. After the dough is shaped into long strands, the next step is to cut these strands into small pieces. This is done by fast-moving blades placed along the conveyor belt. As the dough strands pass by, The blades chop them into tiny pieces which become the sprinkles. Factories make sure the cutting process is fast and efficient to stop the dough from drying out before it takes its final shape. For long, tube-like sprinkles, the dough is cut into short, even pieces, usually just a few millimeters long. For non-parallels, the small round sprinkles, the dough is rolled into tiny balls instead of being cut. This step must be very precise because if the dough isn't cut properly, the sprinkles can lose their shape, which would affect how they look and feel. In large factories, up to 100,000 sprinkles can be cut every minute, allowing for fast production to meet global demand. Once the dough has been cut into sprinkles, the pieces are still soft and can be shaped easily. To give them the crunchy texture we expect from sprinkles, they need to be dried completely. The sprinkles are moved into large drying rooms where warm air is blown over them in a controlled way. This drying process usually takes several hours, depending on the size and thickness of the sprinkles. The purpose of drying is to remove water below freezing temperatures in a matter of seconds. The constant churning action not only cools the mixture, but also introduces air, creating that light, fluffy texture that gives Ben & Jerry's its signature creamy mouthfeel. When the mixture comes out of the freezing barrel, it's at the perfect consistency, cold but still soft and pliable like soft-serve ice cream. At this stage, it's thick enough to hold its form, but still soft enough to allow for the next crucial step, the addition of Ben & Jerry's famous chunks and swirls. This semi-solid state is ideal for mixing in those big pieces of cookie dough, brownie bites, or fudge chunks without damaging their texture. Now comes the part that makes Ben & Jerry's truly iconic, adding the chunks. Whether it's big pieces of cookie dough, brownie bites, chocolate chunks, or peanut butter cups, these mix-ins are a key feature of the brand's ice cream. This is done with the help of a machine called the chunk feeder, which plays a crucial role in making sure every pint is packed with those generous, mouth-watering pieces. Workers load the chunk feeder by dumping in the add-ins, ensuring there's plenty of goodness to go around. The chunk feeder is designed to evenly distribute these mix-ins throughout the ice cream, ensuring that every scoop has just the right balance of creamy base and chunky goodness. The machine mixes the chunks carefully so they don't get crushed, preserving their texture and size. A critical detail because Ben & Jerry's is famous for having some of the biggest chunks in the ice cream world. Once the ice cream is perfectly mixed and packed with chunks, it moves on to the next step, getting into the iconic pint containers. This is where the automatic filler comes into play. The automatic filler is a high-speed machine that pumps the ice cream into pint containers with precision and efficiency. It's a marvel of engineering, capable of filling up to 270 pints per minute, ensuring that the factory can keep up with the massive demand for Ben & Jerry's ice cream. As the semi-solid ice cream flows into the filler, it is portioned out perfectly, ensuring that each pint gets just the right amount of creamy goodness and chunks. This machine is designed for accuracy, so every pint that rolls off the line is consistent in weight and volume. The chunks, mixed evenly throughout the ice cream by the chunk feeder, are distributed beautifully so that every scoop delivers the perfect balance of flavor and texture. Once filled, the pints move along the line to the lidding machine that swiftly places and seals the lids on each pint. This ensures the ice cream is securely sealed and ready for its next journey. After the pints are sealed, they're inspected for quality and sent off for further freezing, locking in freshness before they head to stores. Even though state-of-the-art machines handle much of the production process, Ben & Jerry's is serious about maintaining the quality that fans expect. That's where quality control comes in, a vital step to ensure that every pint is perfect. Every hour, trained workers pull 6 pints off the production line to test for consistency in several key areas like chunk distribution, weight, and air bubbles. These pints undergo a thorough inspection. First, workers weigh each pint to ensure it meets the required amount of ice cream. If a pint is underfilled, it's flagged for correction. Then, the workers cut open the pints to visually inspect the contents. They're looking to see that the famous chunks, swirls, and other mix-ins are evenly spread throughout the pint so every scoop